Elon Musk probably thought this photo would disappear. It was taken in 2014, but it didn't surface until right after he bought Twitter. And he claims Ghislaine photobombed him. But like many things, it doesn't seem like Elon knows what the word photobomb means. What this looks like is Elon said, "Hey, let's take a picture." And then they posed together, but I wasn't there. However, a staff member at this Vanity Fair event in 2014 who stood next to them said Ghislaine was asking Elon how she could delete information about herself on the internet, as well as asking him to destroy the internet, although it's not clear what the context of that last statement was meant to be. But multiple sources also state that Elon's brother, Kimball Musk, dated an ex-girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein after being introduced to her by Epstein, and this woman that he dated allegedly lived in an apartment building where Jeffrey was known to house models, including many from Eastern Europe, also known as the part of Europe that most white women are trafficked from, including by Andrew Tate. Why else do you think he moved to Romania? People from Romania try to get the hell out of Romania. This apparently resulted in Epstein's entourage getting a tour of SpaceX, the facility. Now, Business Insider claims that this relationship between Kimball and the unknown woman may have been a way for Epstein to make a connection with Musk, who was still considered a smart guy back in 2011 when this dating happened. And of course, there's not much in the way of concrete proof that any of this did happen aside from the person claiming to be an eyewitness at the Vanity Fair and other witnesses, but Elon Musk's brother got divorced in 2010, so him looking for an easy date the very next year is not that far-fetched. And also Epstein was probably paying close attention to this divorce, and he probably made the offer for the girlfriend, but as soon as it came out that Jeffrey was making connections with Silicon Valley moguls like Elon Musk, Elon quickly made the statement that I was only at his house in Manhattan for 30 minutes because my wife wanted to meet him to discuss a novel she was writing. Because yeah, Elon, that's totally what people who don't know each other do. They bring their wife to a guy's house so he can help her write a book. And he seemingly forgets that he didn't marry this woman, his now ex-wife Tallulah Riley, until 2010, and he didn't start dating her until 2008, which both of these years being after Jeffrey was accused of recruiting and paying teenage girls to spend time with him in Florida. Either way, bro, you went to his house for 30 minutes or you went there for 30 days. He was a registered offender at the time. But you see, Elon had to say something stupid like this because it would have been even dumber for him to lie and say he didn't know him at all. Like that same year when he did say he didn't know Ghislaine Maxwell, despite the actual photographic evidence that he did. Not to mention, Elon Musk was subpoenaed by the Southern District of New York Court so they could get documents from the Virgin Islands regarding communications between Musk and Epstein, as well as payments made to either Epstein, Chase Bank, or both from as far back as 2002, since the court alleges that Jeffrey may have referred or attempted to refer him to a bank. Also, Elon's brother pretty much acknowledges that they were once illegal immigrants.
In fact, when they did fund us, they realized that we were illegal immigrants.
Well, I mean,
yes, we were.
Who were still allowed to do business in the United States and get richer. Now, although Musk deleted his first tweet about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, he did not delete the sarcastic tweet he made about Ghislaine Maxwell being in prison for nothing. Epstein was known for making connections. We've seen him pictured with so many billionaires that it would be far-fetched to say that Elon and him didn't know each other. And I feel pretty confident in saying that he may not know how to build a car or a rocket, but he definitely probably knows the most prominent financial advisor of the 21st century. He continues to have children with much younger women, and he admits that he's essentially a drug addict, so it's definitely hard for me to believe that he never partied with Epstein. And that's not to say that he partook in any of the underage allegations. He probably didn't, especially since he's speaking as if no one has that kind of dirt on him. Elon just strikes me as a guy who has been in these rooms and sat at these tables where certain things were discussed, and he only had a problem with it once his oligarch card no longer allowed him to be a member of government. Because we know how the United States works. His party is not going to go anywhere. There's no chance a third party will ever hold a prominent position in government. You're either a donkey or an elephant. But here is a crazy graph made by a guy named David Torrey that is literally a web connecting many prominent people to Jeffrey Epstein. And all of these connections were made through media, so quite public information. And here is Elon saying something that he either truly believed or honestly, I really can't even think of many reasons why he would say this other than the fact that he knows people's attention span are getting shorter and everyone will probably forget about this in the future.
If Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Part of how they deflect attention from themselves is by criticizing the morals of others.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this.
And again, if Elon is insisting that he knows something, which he probably does since he's been around these people, that would mean he's also saying that Trump being on the list was fine as long as Elon got to hang out in the White House. Which, dude, You're not even from the United States. You did not grow up here, and you have more money than any president ever. Why do you even care about working for the government? Surely it would have been cheaper and faster to just bribe your way into the South African government. He could have bribed his way to the top of any government position in the Balkan country. The man's net worth is higher than the GDP of Denmark and at least 100 other countries. But you know what? Accusing a man you supported of something so crazy and also accidentally admitting that if what you say is true, then you yourself were okay with it, that's the exact type of thing we should expect from Elon Musk. It's almost like he's too intoxicated to realize that nonsense comes out of his mouth, and this man was a senior advisor to the president. But then, right before August began, something that is quite possibly the most suspicious thing in this entire video came out. Elon Musk donated $15 million to MAGA Inc., which is a political committee that supports Donald Trump, and this donation happened in the middle of their so-called feud. And that in itself makes it look like this entire feud was set up. Like Elon was told to make these accusations since at this point, he's completely destroyed his own credibility. So him accusing Donald Trump of something would, in some people's eyes, actually exonerate Trump since Elon is known for speaking nonsense. This is going to be my last video concerning this topic because I've come to the conclusion that we will never get the truth. It would be so much less confusing if everybody didn't just lie, but the fact that the committee that he donated to has been alleged to be a pay-for-access operation where people pay for access to Donald Trump, which Elon Musk clearly did, just puts it all into perspective. But what does Elon actually know? He knows something. In 2018, before his arrest, why did Jeffrey Epstein claim that he had been advising Elon Musk to help him find a new chairman for Tesla? This claim by Epstein has been met with skepticism, but in my opinion, why would a man who actually has real-life connections to billionaires lie about his connection to another billionaire? I guess it would be an easy lie for him to get away with, but what would he gain from it? Credibility? Definitely not. I don't know how much more credibility he would have needed. He's been with everyone from Prince Andrew, the Crown Princess of Norway, to the President of the United States. I just don't know what he could possibly gain by lying about a connection to Elon Musk. So I'll give that statement an 8 out of 10 on the believability scale. And Elon's tweet about him regretting what he said about Donald Trump and how his accusations went too far only further proved that this man is high or a professional liar. But it seems like Elon's only true loyalty, just like many politicians in the United States, is just to Israel. Because even after his famous salute, the Prime Minister called him a great friend to Israel. Which, what has he done to become a great friend? He's not even a great friend of his own country, South Africa. He once said that his company Starlink wasn't allowed to operate in South Africa because he's not black. You know, just a system holding a black man down. My man, you are the richest South African on the planet. The second richest South African is also a white guy, the third and fourth richest South Africans are also white, and the fifth richest South African is an ethnically Chinese man. Why would he say this? You're only rich now because your father became a rich South African businessman. Why don't you donate to the white slums of South Africa if you feel this way, Elon? Probably because you've never been in close proximity to poor people your entire life for longer than 15 minutes. And after being called a friend of Israel, this man tweeted Nazi jokes. I'm not even sure I can show you this entire tweet without being demonetized. It's like this is all just one big joke to Elon, and somehow we're the idiots. He has done more to prove himself as a misinformation campaign in the flesh than anything else. And to think, 10 to 15 years ago, he had the world so fooled that people were calling him the real-life Tony Stark, as if he's actually invented something. He used his dad's money to buy out companies so that he could be the CEO, and then to everyone else, it would look like he actually was the inventor. But that's all I got, man. I'll see you guys next time.